up, everyone? I am Bobby Jarrell.
I'm Marthea.
And this is No Filter. So, on today's episode, we are talking about boundaries. All boundaries.
All boundaries. Setting boundaries.
All of them. With everybody. With friends, co-workers, relationships, bosses, pastors.
Your dog.
Yeah, all of them. All of them. So before we get into it, you good?
I'm good.
Good? We just come off of finishing filming the previous episode that you guys saw last week, so we have to woosah for a moment.
Yes.
That one was
and look, we may be going back up again, depending on how some boundaries have been overstepped.
Yeah. So with boundaries, the reason why I wanted to talk about this, and it kind of ties into what we talked about last week about like work issues and stuff like that. I was thinking about it the other night, where a lot of times when we think of, well, let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about boundaries, like what does it mean to you to set a boundary? Like, give me an example of what it looks like for you.
In regards to,
you can pick one: family, friends, work.
Setting a boundary to me means that I'm not over exhausting myself. Mm-hmm. And that's with friends, family, work. I am coming to a point where I know when to stop, when to voice my say, when to voice my concern, like, hey, I don't know. Setting boundaries for me means, damn it, look now. That's my setting. Damn it, look now. That's my setting back, because you have to have, and as I've grown, you have to have some type of boundaries, or people will use you, people will run over you, people will just drain you, and I've had to set a lot of boundaries.
So what I love about that, and like you said exactly, well, you didn't say what I wanted you to say, because that was my point that I wanted to get to. Mm-hmm. So you messed up my whole thing, but it's fine. It's good.
So sorry.
It was good.
Say it.
It was good though.
Execute it.
So do you feel that, because you said that, with growth, that you got to that point, did you always look at boundaries in that way? Because I think that what you said, it puts the mirror on you when setting your boundaries. A lot of people put it on other people and say, like, I'm not going to let you in. Like, when you engage in this behavior, this is what I'm going to do. Or when you do this, I'm not going to do this, that, and the other. But when we put the boundaries on ourselves and say, I'm only going to give out so much. So like, it's like, let's say you're in a yard and you have a fence around. Most people put up the boundaries and say that the people on the outside, when they come this close, they can't get in because of my boundary. But we also need to be able to say, when I'm doing things for other people, that right there is my boundary of how far I'm willing to go out. And a lot of people don't do that.
But I didn't really understand, or maybe I didn't really execute boundaries until I started working with the job that I had, where I had to start telling my children, you need to know the boundaries, and if someone steps in your boundary, and that was a boundary on just like a clear eye boundary, like if they're coming to you, right? It's way more. Once I got older, I'm like, shit, a boundary and just saying no.
Yes.
A boundary and just like putting your phone on mute. So I think over time you start to understand there are different boundaries, and you can tap into each one when it's needed, because you have to set boundaries.
Yes.
You have to, if you want to have a sane mind.
Yeah. I think, like, I was talking to one of my coaching clients with my coaching business, Behavioral Coaching Solutions, because I am a certified professional coach.
You better.
One of the activities that the last time we met, I told her to work on doing mindfulness. Have you ever practiced mindfulness?
It tells me every time.
The breathe app?
Yeah. It does the breathe, and then it says...
Yeah, the mindful one? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. So, we talked about it before, and she said that she had actually taught some mindfulness like before at a job that she was working at. And she was like, what's the reason why you want me to work on mindfulness as one of her assignments for the next couple of weeks after the session? And so she's the type where when it comes to work and things like that, if she gets a call, if she gets the email, she's willing to drop everything to go do it, take care of work. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, if even during the session, she's like, right now I keep looking at the clock to see, how much time I got left before I got to go deal with work. And I was like, mindfulness allows you to block all of that out. Mm-hmm. And the more you learn to do that, the more you'll be able to pour into yourself. Right. Because a lot of times when it comes to work and school and relationships and things like that, we're so busy pouring into other people and giving to other people, and then at the end of the day we sit down, we're exhausted, we're hungry, we don't have anything left for ourselves. Yes. But it's like even if you take 5 minutes throughout your day and say, let me practice this mindfulness, where I'm able to block all of that out and focus on me. Right. Just for that moment. That's you beginning to pour into yourself and learning that over time, I can do it more. I can give 30 minutes to myself. I can give an hour of my day and look at these situations or these people and say, they survived. They good. They may be mad, but they'll get over it. They're going to get over it. Right. But I think that it's important to do that. So like even with me right now with work, I'm the type of person, especially being in the field that I'm in, I've talked about it on previous episodes, like in the first season of No Filter. Being a black man in the field, I feel like I had to always present myself the best as possible and make sure that I'm doing my job. I got to be better than other people. Okay. Even like if y'all watch the last episode, there's people that think they're better than you, but in reality, it's like, boo, if you were only half the analyst that I was, like we wouldn't be having this conversation. But
humble yourself.
For real. And so it's like we have to be able to take that time for ourselves and say, in order for me to give to other people, I need to fulfill and fuel myself. Right. And when we're not doing that, we're running on empty. Right. And we hit that brick wall. And that's when we're like, okay, I want to quit my job. I want to do something else. Or like, this isn't for me. And it's like, yeah, you may get that. But when you create those boundaries, it allows you to take time before you hit that wall. Because like, let's look at it, mileage. If your breakdown is at 1.5 miles, your boundary needs to be at about 1 mile. Don't go that extra mile when you know that when you get there, you're going to be tired. Because the last 10, 20 times you've done it, you were mad about it. And it's okay to be like, no. So like, are there any situations in your life right now where you kind of like had to set a clear boundary for yourself? And I'm going to say something else and hopefully you don't mess this up.
Damn.
But are there any clear boundaries right now that you've set for yourself?
Yes. In regards to work, I am not going to allow people to tell me that to pick something apart and make me feel like I am not a good worker. I just can't. I know what I do. Yeah. And I will speak upon it. At one point, it was no need to do that because I had very good upper management that knew who I was. But I'm not going to allow you to discredit my work. That's one boundary that I have for work. After 5 o'clock, that work phone goes on silent. Yeah. That's another boundary that I have because I work with families. I gotta have time to deal with my family. Yeah. With my family. I deal with families who have issues. I have a family that has issues. Yeah. So I can't be around the clock dealing with those families along with supervisors who's sending emails why this isn't done, why that isn't done. Okay, I acknowledge it. I'll get to it tomorrow.
Yep. And so what I was going to say, you didn't say it.
I'm sorry.
But you hinted at it. Like when we set a boundary, a lot of times people, especially like in relationships, I would say, like intimate relationships, we want to explain to people what we're doing. We want people to understand, like, hey, well, I'm no longer going to respond when you say such and such. Or when you do this, it makes me unhappy. So I'm not going to respond when you do such and such anymore. The person don't care. Most of the time, they're still going to engage in those behaviors because they don't really care. So when we learn to stop explaining our boundaries and just execute, those boundaries, they're going to learn.
Right. They're going to learn. They're going to learn. And also, it's not up to that other person to not overstep a boundary.
Yes.
Because they're going to do it. They're going to keep picking to see what that like you said, what that weak spot is. It is up to us to determine what you will accept, what you won't accept, and how you are going to express that. Because not every time you expressing that you have a boundary, does it have to be a fallout. That, if two grown people can sit there and have a conversation, you explain what your boundary is, that other person has the ears to be receptive, then you got your boundaries set. But that's if you're dealing with people who are
sure enough, and understand. But if they don't, I look at it like a dog wearing a shock collar. Like, we don't tell a dog, hey, when you go to this part of the yard, you're going to get shocked. So this is my dog right here. When you go to that part of the yard, you're going to get shocked. So don't go to that part of the yard. That dog, they're going to go there. After like that second or third time, they're going to realize, I can't go over there because something happens that I don't like.
Right.
And so we need to be able to say, I'm not going to allow you to overstep these boundaries. You don't need to explain it because eventually you're going to understand.
Right.
Like I had somebody send me an email on Saturday, I think, one of my parents, and Monday morning I politely responded as if I just got it. But it's like, for me, I had to be able to set that boundary.
Right.
I don't need to tell you, hey, you don't need to call me on the weekends. And I've never stated it before because I'm open to it. But I had to, at some point in my life and my career, say, you know what? I can't. Like, I need this time for me because at this point, I'm starting to feel overwhelmed and overworked. Not necessarily because it's too much. It's just the stress that comes along with it. And so I think that that's another issue that some people have is they don't look at it as the stress of it or all of this is becoming too much mentally and emotionally. They're looking at, oh, well, I only have this many clients. I'm only working so many hours. So it's like, I have the time to do it. But your time is your time. Even if you have extra time, it's still your time.
Right.
And another thing was setting that boundary, saying, when I have free time, I don't need to divvy out my free time to other people and do for other people. It can be your free time.
Right. So when was a point or a time when you knew that a boundary had to be set? And what was it an easy task for you to set that boundary? Because I know a lot of times when it comes to ourselves, and I know you're a water sign, I'm a water sign. And in the field that we're in, we feel like, we need to give ourselves to, we need to help this person. We need to fix this for that person. Was there a time where it was hard for you to really just set that boundary and keep that boundary intact because of, to help with your peace and your... So...
just recently, and it's crazy, like you mentioned it, you asked about the mental health forum that was coming up. So initially, I was going to do one in August, and the host that was doing it, she did the one in Atlanta also. And so like with this one, and I know she watches the show, so if she's watching the show, hey. But this is the thing. there are certain ways that we operate as individuals, and certain things that we accept, things we don't accept, things we like, things we don't like. And so as an individual, there were things that she did when it came to organizing the next event that I personally didn't like. And at first I was like, it's her event, so I'm going to go with it. And like one of the biggest things for me was just the communication, where it was, if we're planning something and you tell me, like let's say today is the 28th of June, which is my birthday. You know, we filmed 2 episodes today, so it's still my birthday for you guys.
Happy birthday!
So if I say today is the 28th and on Friday I'm meeting with someone to organize an event that we're working on. If you tell me that, I'm expecting an update.
Okay.
Maybe not Friday.
Okay.
Maybe not Monday. But at least by sometime in that next week, I want an update because what that meeting affects me and my planning, and then there's other people a part of what I'm doing that are affected by you having this meeting. So in the situation that there was supposed to be a meeting, and I'm assuming, I don't know if they had the meeting or not, but a week and a half passed by and there was no update. And I'm like, hey, is there any update? Let me know something. If there's nothing, tell me there's nothing.
Okay.
Let me know something. And so that was the biggest issue that I had, where it was like, I'm allowing this situation to be controlled by this person because this is her event. But I'm also going against how I do things as an individual. And so at that point, like finally it was about a month and something later of going back and forth about the planning and all that, where I was just like, I can't do it. Because it's not that I don't want to do it, I want to do the event. I want to do the event. But if I allow myself to do this event, what I'm doing is like I'm going to the behavioral thing where I'm reinforcing your behaviors. I'm saying that the way you do things is okay for me, and it's not. And I'm not saying that the way she does things is wrong. I'm saying it's just wrong for me. And so I had to set that boundary. Going forward, like she texted me happy birthday today and everything, and like technically she's family. So going forward, like I hope there's no animosity or anything like that. Just understanding that we are just two different people in how we do business. And like if we were to work together in the future, I've already set that boundary for myself. And if she's not able to meet, respect that boundary, then of course, no, we can't work together. Right. And it has to be a mutual thing where I'm just saying, communicate with me. Right. You know what I mean? Right.
And so I guess a follow-up question to that is, you set that boundary, and what does that look like afterward? How does a person, when those boundaries have been set, how does a person move forward in, the friendship or the...
As the boundary setter or the boundary person?
After the boundaries have been set. Because some people, when you set a boundary, they start feeling a type of way. So what is that communication like? Or, should there be communication after that boundary is set to be like, hey, it's no issue with us?
So I think that it goes to how you said earlier, depending on that person and if they're able to receive that type of feedback. If they are able to receive that feedback, having that conversation with them. If they're in a place where they can say, okay, you know what, let me take a step back, look in the mirror and check my behavior and say, okay, maybe I could have done something differently. And there's a lot of people think that they're like, if you tell them something, that they're wrong and like that they did something wrong. It's like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. What I'm just saying is that your behavior does not work for me and what I need. And so if they're able to take that step back and look at themselves and say, you know what, I get where you're coming from. This is what you need. This is what I need. How do we find that median and say, is it median? Medium. The middle ground. How do we find that median? How do we find that place of, let me be able to still respect my boundary, but also being able to respect your boundary. So in like this particular situation with her is just a simple thing of, if this is the day you said that you were going to meet with them, all I need to know is, did you meet with them? Did you not? If there's no update, there's no update.
Right.
I get that 100%. But it's also the thing of, like, we were going to go to Arizona, and so I'm not the type of person to wait to the last minute to plan things. Like, I want things to be organized and together, and that includes, like, the travel, especially in this situation I had, like, Emmanuel was coming, my friend Conchetta was coming, I think somebody else was interested in coming.
Okay.
So it's like, the information that I'm getting is not just for me.
Right, you have to pass it along.
Yeah. So I think, like, being able to have a conversation, if that person is able to receive what you're saying and not take it as an attack. If they take it as an attack, still go about the way that you do things, but making sure that you're standing firm on your boundaries.
Right.
And they will learn that, like, let's say texting or something like that, I can't text this person after a certain amount of time or on the weekends, that they're not going to respond. I'm still going to respond. I'm going to give you exactly what you need, but it's going to be within a certain boundary. So, like, not changing that portion of it. And eventually they will learn that, okay, I need to make these changes, and they will respond, but not during certain times.
Okay. Well, Lord.
But it's hard, man. It's hard. Like, even in relationships, because you try to be respectful of your partner. Are you in a relationship? Because I know last time you threw it out there, and then we didn't talk before you left. But are you in a situation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're complicated. But it's, you try to, you don't want to set too many boundaries in a relationship because you want that open flow of communication and all of that. But it's like, you still need to be able to say, I need something from you. And if you're not able to give me what I need, then there's an issue.
Right.
And the boundary comes in where it's like, you're not giving me what I need, but you're trying to give me something else. My boundary saying, I'm not going to accept what you're giving me. And once you understand that, you need to make changes.
Right.
And I think, I think we can wrap it up in a few. But I think that when we look at, like, the behavioral aspect of things, because I'm a behavioral life coach with Behavioral Coaching Solutions. I'm a certified professional coach. If you're interested in coaching, give me a call. A lot of times we focus on behaviors that we don't want to see. Like, let's say with Emmanuel, the other day I was asking him, we were watching RuPaul Drag Race, and I asked him, who do you think are in the top 2 for the episode? Because each week they have a top 2 for another, it's the All-Stars. And so his response was, well, I didn't like such and such because I didn't like the outfit that they had on, and then such I don't think they did as good as they did last week. I'm like, but that's not what I asked you.
Right.
You're focusing on something that's not relevant to the question. The question is, who do you think is going to be in the top 2? So who did you like? Who did you think did well in this episode? Not who did bad. And I think that when we have conversations, especially in relationships, people get too focused on the negative. They looking at, well, you say I didn't do this and I didn't do that. But like, yeah, you didn't do that. You didn't do it at all. But what I want you to focus on, this is what I want you to do.
Right.
Here are the behaviors that I do need from you. And in order for me, my love tank to be full, I need you to engage in these behaviors. We're not talking about what you didn't do. We're not talking about how many times you didn't do it. I'm talking about right here what I need from you.
So let me ask you this.
What's that?
Is there a point in time where a person can have too many boundaries?
Yes.
And, make it hard for relationships, friendships, families,
Absolutely.
What does that look like? I don't know if you have too many boundaries, but what does that look like? I know I do. I have a lot of boundaries. That's why this it's easy for me to set a boundary.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to deal with it if I don't have to.
This is the thing. Okay, this is the thing. And this is the free coaching session, okay? So what I want you to do is think about your boundary. You have to say it now, like this, as a future exercise.
Okay.
Think about your boundary and why you set that boundary. Think about the pros and the cons of setting those boundaries. And if setting a boundary means that you're blocking certain people, certain relationships from developing and flourishing, then that means that boundary is hurting you more than it's helping you. Your boundary should protect you from the harm.
Okay, Bobby.
But if the boundary is just there, like if you have, like, I ain't gonna lie, I used to tell people that I had a trench, like the trench around the castle, like the water thing around. I had a trench around the castle. I think that's what it's called. I had the gate that goes over the trench. Then on the other side of the land, I had a barbed wire fence. I had a brick fence. I had barbed wire, more barbed wire. I had cactuses. I had the little prickly bushes. Then I had armed guards on the other side.
The little things where if you walk, you step in it.
The ball things. So like I had all of those things up because in my mind I kept telling myself that I need to protect me. But then it was a thing of, who am I protecting myself from?
Right.
Am I protecting myself, or am I pushing more people out than I'm letting people in?
And this may go into another conversation, but if you don't protect you, who's gonna protect you?
Okay, but that's the thing. So like, I don't think I've used a good analogy. That wasn't really an analogy. Here we go. We got an analogy.
Y'all know we love.
We got us an analogy here. So, a lot of times when we have a cold or something, we go out and let's pretend COVID's not a thing right now. Just
in your mind, pre-COVID.
It's not COVID right now. If we have a cold or we get a cold, a lot of times we're like, or in the wintertime, we're saying, I don't want to catch a cold, so let me get this medicine and stuff like that. So we take the medicine, and we're saying, I don't want to we get flu shots and stuff like that. We're getting these flu shots to protect us from getting the flu.
Yeah.
But it's okay if we get a little cold here and there, because we can heal from a cold. We think that if we get the cold, it's going to be a bigger issue than what it is. So when we put up these boundaries, we're preventing ourselves from getting a cold.
Yes.
But we should be preventing ourselves from getting the flu and getting pneumonia and all of that. Getting a little cold every now and then is all right. So when we go through heartbreak and things like that, that's just a little cold. It fuels it builds your immune system. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
You hear me?
I hear you. I mean.
Well, hold on. We'll take a quick little pause, and then we'll be right back. And we are back. Just that fast. But yeah. I think we're so afraid of the unknown that we block out everything. Like even with a new baby, like some parents would be like, baby eating off the floor, but like, oh, they good. They build their immune system.
Yeah.
As an adult, even thinking about, when's the last time you've been on a roller coaster?
It's been a while.
Like, I'm not saying I'm afraid to go on a roller coaster, but like I haven't been on a roller coaster since I was a kid. But as a kid, I wasn't afraid. Like, I'm going to hop on this roller coaster. But as an adult, I'm like, I need to protect myself. I don't want to get on a roller coaster.
But that goes back to maybe the second episode where we were talking about where when we're kids, I mean, we have fearless. We love easily.
Yep.
We don't have any boundaries when it comes to love. We're adventurous. We're what's the word I'm trying to use? We not fearless, but like just we. It's no limit to what what we can do, what we want to do. But as you grow older, it's like so many things that start to,
because like you get hurt. As you get older, you get hurt. Like whether it be, normally it starts in the family. It's like parent leaving, or somebody dying, or a friend moves, or a relationship ends. And as you get older, it's like those things chip away at that fearlessness. It chips away at the confidence. And so when we get to that point where, I don't want to deal with loss anymore. I don't want to deal with hurt anymore. So I'm going to block out the world. But when you like I have, you can see like right here it's a window, and there's curtains, and then there's a blind. The blinds are actually closed right now, but you can still see light. Oh, that's another analogy. I didn't mean to hit you that hard. That's another analogy. We shouldn't try to keep people out. We should put up blinds, because even with the blinds up, it still allows some light to get in. Mm-hmm. And when we have a little bit of light in, we can still appreciate it. So I can look outside and say, you know what, it's sunny outside. It's a nice day. So I'm gonna open my blinds. A little bit. But if we put those blackout curtains and tint in, we can't see the light.
Right.
So allow yourself to put up. It's good to have the boundaries up, but we need to be able to put them down fast enough to where we're not forcing somebody to stick around forever. And it's okay to be able to say, you know what, if I lift my blinds up, I can let all the light in. But the moment somebody shows me that they're not worthy of being in, I'm pulling my blinds down. Right. But before, when I had the trench and the bridge and the barbed wire fence, it was a lot for people to get in.
Right. And I mean, like I said, I have a lot of boundaries only because, like you said, who wants to get hurt? You know, my whole thing is protecting me. I'm not going to lie, you know, over time, as I've gotten older, it's like, okay, let's just take a leap of faith. Let's just, you know, see about some certain things, but it is certain boundaries that I just will not break. I just won't.
So this is another activity that I am working on with clients in my behavioral coaching program or company, Behavioral Coaching Solutions. So
yes, give the people some tips.
So when you say that you've taken a leap of faith, just like a ballpark, just a ballpark number. It don't have to be 100% accurate. How many times would you say you've taken a leap of faith in your life?
I mean, quite a few. I've taken a leap of faith.
Give me a number, just like a roundabout number.
Maybe.
Even like, let's narrow it down to like the last 2 years.
Thank you. Last 2 years. Last 2 years, maybe about 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Out of those 4 or 5 times you've taken a leap of faith, how many times would you say it wasn't a successful leap of faith?
I can't say that. They have been successful.
So
they have taught me lessons.
Then I was see you're jumping ahead. You stay where we're at, please. Stay where we're at. So
I learned.
So that's my whole point right there. We're so afraid to take a leap of faith because we don't know what's on the other side. But a lot of times, you know, people say, you know, focus on the future and focus on what's ahead of you. But sometimes you need to be able to say, you know what, let me look back at the past real quick. Because those other 4 times that I've taken a leap of faith, it didn't go well.
Yeah.
It didn't always go exactly how I wanted it to go, but I gained something from it.
Right.
There was a lesson, a perspective that I got from that leap of faith. So when you're looking at the future and saying, oh, I'm afraid to take this leap of faith, look at that as not necessarily, yeah, we want it to go our way, we want it to be the best opportunity possible, but we need to be able to say, what can I gain from this leap of faith? Even if it does not work out, what can I gain from it? And that'll take away a little bit of that fear surrounding that leap of faith. Okay. And so like taking that, being able to let your boundaries down and say, I'm going to take this leap of faith, if it's a relationship or whatever it may be, say, what can I gain from this to help me continue to learn and grow as an individual from this?
I was just getting ready to say one boundary is that, look, y'all, I gotta preface it a little bit.
Oh Jesus!
I had a little wine,
just
right?
a little bit, just a
little bit. But no, that's something that I do want to touch on. The boundaries blocking you from following your dreams, following, you know, what is meant to be. How are you able to differentiate when a boundary needs to just be released? Like, okay, that's just too much.
Like releasing the boundary?
Or when has there been a time where you had to release a boundary or kind of step back from like, you know what, I'm being a little too extra right now. Let me just.
I think.
Or was it, my bad, I keep asking. or was it a boundary that really just needed to be set at that time, and now, you know, you can kind of step back from that boundary? Are there times where you can set a boundary and then it's like, hey, it's not needed?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's okay to set your boundary, but like using the blinds as an example, you can have the blinds either all the way up, all the light comes in. Your boundary's still there. You just need to apply it when you need to apply it. Or you can have your boundary set, but you can open it up as much as you want to have it open, or you can close it as much as you want to close it. But allowing it to be malleable in a sense where this is a boundary, but it's not a set in stone 100%. This boundary is only going to be this way every single time. So when you're open with like a friendship or a relationship or whatever, it's okay to be able to say, I have a boundary set up and I'm going to allow you in so much, and if you show me that you're not worthy, I don't need to go from say a 15% boundary all the way to 100. Maybe I need to just bump it up to about 30%, or bump it up to 60%, whatever it may be, depending on the situation. And if you need to go all the way to 100%, then go all the way to 100%. But I think, like it sounds like what you're doing, you either add 0 or 100, but you need to find that middle ground in between.
Look, I'm a Scorpio.
I like to steam.
It's, you know, it's either yes or no.
Yeah, I get that. I get that 100%. So here's the thing. You have to be able to say, like right now, where you know you're doing the acting and like you found that passion in that acting. Because like there's a situation that I'm in right now when it comes to acting stuff that I'm just like, I gotta set a boundary. But here's the thing. You need to ask yourself, what can I gain from this situation? If there's any possibility that I can gain something from this situation, then that means that it's something worth exploring. And if you are willing to let down your boundary to explore the possibilities, that means it's something good. But if it doesn't work out, then it's okay to take that step back. So it's always about what is fueling you. What can be added to your life. If you look at a situation and you say, this is a situation, but I already know it's going to take too much time, too much money, too much effort, that means it's taking from you, but it's not giving to you. But in some situations, it's okay for something to take, but it also needs to be refueling.
Right.
And I think that's how you kind of differentiate between when to set that boundary and when not to, or kind of when to lower the boundary versus when to put it up more.
Okay. Has there ever been a time where you had to take a boundary back in your relationship and dealing with family, friends?
As in like putting it up or putting it down?
Putting it down.
Putting it down. Yeah. So like right now, I have a cousin of mine, right? He's a couple of years older than I am, and so like growing up in Louisiana, like we would go out and things like that, and there were sometimes like even I was fast back then, so I was like 17, 18 years old, going out to clubs and stuff. And I remember a time, like one specific time where, like let's say, use this as a map, right?
Okay.
So like this, try to keep it in the camera. So like this is 3 cities, right? Okay. So in Louisiana. So like this is Raceland. This is where we grew up, right? So here is Thibodaux, Louisiana. This is New Orleans, Louisiana. Okay. So there were times where one particular time where he had friends in Thibodaux, right? And we were going to go to New Orleans. So you can go like this, or like either you can go like this or all the way around like this. But it's like further to go around like this. So I asked him if he was going to pick me up to go to New Orleans from here. Okay. He was here. No, he was here. Okay. He was here with me. Like we were in the same city. He said that he couldn't because he had to go to here to pick up his friends. Okay. But then they were going to go he was going to go here here, and then back here.
Oh, he could have picked you up on the way back.
So, at that moment, and then mind you, this was how many years ago? 16, 17, 18 years ago maybe?
Wow.
And like that moment is still stuck in my mind because it had a major impact on me. So I started to put up a wall, not just with this person, but just with all people.
Did it alter your mindset about family?
Yes. Yeah. So as time passed, like this, and it's just very recent, like, well, back up a little bit. I got out the military in 2011 and I moved back to Houston. So like we all moved to Houston within like a time frame of each other. So like we were in Houston for like, I would say for a year. We didn't really hang out much because he had his friends, and like it made me feel like I wasn't included in that friend circle. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so,
it's like you going through that. You went through that back then, and I'm going through that shit now.
I don't know if I can say anything to help you, but hopefully. But so when I got out of the military, he would spend time with like my sister, not the one that you met, the other one, with them and my cousins and stuff like that. They would do things, and so when I came back to town, and they were like, "Oh, we all gonna hang out," and I'm like, I don't really mess with him like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I had already put up my boundary.
Yeah.
And so at that point, like this was 2011, 2012, I would engage if it was a family function, holidays and stuff like that. We can engage, but like outside of that, I'm not going out of my way to interact and do things. Like that was me. Like I had my blinds down, but I had a little crack in it. Like, we can engage a little bit, but I'm always going to keep that boundary with you. Yeah. And so fast forward to last year, 2021, we had a family gathering, and actually back up a little bit, 2020. I moved into the house. I had a birthday party for Emmanuel in July, and I didn't invite him because at the time we were not talking like that, whatever. So fast forward about a year or so later, he had a party. He got a new house, had a housewarming. He invited my sister, my two cousins, and things like that, but didn't invite me. So then fast forward last year, we had 4th of July, we had a family reunion.
Best friend, does this sound familiar?
Yeah, we had a family reunion, and so it was like my birthday's June 28th, and so it's like it falls between the 4th, or like right the week before the 4th, and so that while we were there, like we had I got a cake and stuff for the 4th because I didn't do anything for my birthday since we were going to be in Louisiana, and so that night we went to the daiquiri shop, and he was like, me and you need to talk or whatever, we need to hash out whatever the issue is between us, and so we went back and forth about it, and so I'm the type where I'm not going to discredit someone's feelings, but the reality is my feelings started first. Your feelings were a reaction to your feelings. Yes. That makes sense?
Yes.
And so it's like, but he feels his feelings are valid. And I'm like,
I mean, it's valid only after the fact.
Yes, you're entitled to feel how you feel. I get that, but you don't understand that my feelings date back all the way 18 years ago.
Right.
When you chose friends over me.
Right.
And then, so then, like that night we was like, okay, we're gonna do better, we're gonna communicate better, like talk throughout the week and stuff like that, or at least several times throughout the month, and not just for a family function and something like that. So like I did my graduation party in May, and so mind you, like a couple of weeks before that, he was like, oh, send me the information and all of that for the party. I'm like, okay, I'll send it to you. Oh, send it to him. Oh, got it, cuz, thank you, I'll be there. Come the day of the party, I don't hear from him. Nothing. No, nothing. No congratulations, because like the party was the same day of graduation. No congratulations, nothing like that, right? So the party was the 14th of May. It wasn't until the 22nd of May, I think. It was like a week, no, it was longer than that, because it was like a week and a half later. He texted me, he was like, he was like, congrats on mastering it, cousin, I'm so proud of you. Let me know when you're free to hang out and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
it's back up again. That boundary is back in place.
So he sent out that he was like, let me know when you want to hang out, like go out on me or whatever. My response was, thank you. and a heart emoji. That was it. And it was like, that's my boundary. I'm gonna respond because I have to see you. It's not like I'm not gonna see you ever again, but I have to put up that boundary because I'm not gonna allow you to continue to do this. So then for my birthday, we went out to eat. So I was like, I ain't gonna say it on camera, but I'll tell you later. So like, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna invite them to come out to eat.
You didn't invite me?
You were doing the play.
Okay.
It was the same day of the play. I had to leave the play early.
No, I know.
Because at first I was like, the play shouldn't be no more than 2.5 hours. So I'm gonna get that.
Baby.
The intermission was like an hour and 40 minutes.
Baby. And the thing about it is, not to go on to something else, talk about something else, but real quick, it was 4. She put it there.
But yeah,
but
so
you keep going.
Yeah, so like I invited him to the dinner. So like I didn't hear from him like a day or so before. So the day of, we're there, and I was like, hey, if you're still coming, like we'll be outside on the patio at the location. Hour and a half later, he texted me. He's like, oh, I ended up having to go to Louisiana, blah 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 blah.
But it shouldn't have to take that many times.
But here's my thing.
Either you do or you don't.
But here's the thing. If I stop reaching out and I don't invite him to things, then it'd be like I'm the issue. But it's like, oh, he's like, oh, I had a reason why I didn't make it. I get that you had a reason. My thing is, communicate that. For the graduation party, you didn't hit me up until a week and a half later. The day of when we went out for dinner, you didn't communicate that to me. You know what I mean?
But see, that's what I have a problem with grown ass people. Like, obviously, if something happened, my feelings got hurt. You started to then be petty because I felt a certain type of way. Why not just come at me and be like, hey, let's talk it out. If I hurt your feelings, I didn't mean to, but this is what's that. You're only being petty now because you know I feel a certain type of way. And that shit gotta stop. Because we fucking grown.
What she said.
Some of y'all may be growner than me.
But I think like my boundaries were already there. But it's like I'm willing to give it a chance, but at this point, I'm not giving it a chance. If he reach out and say he want to do something, if I'm available, I would. If I'm already out, but if I gotta get like dressed and shaved and all that, I probably you gotta catch me on a good day. Like I'm not making more of an effort than I need to at this point. So that's where I am, and I think that for me, it's been important to set those boundaries in that way, and it's like I'm willing to kind of maneuver them a little bit, and let them be malleable a little bit, but at the same time, they still there. So, any other thoughts on boundaries? This is a good little coaching session. And I promise y'all, I don't drink during this is apple juice. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah, that's apple juice.
This is apple. I don't drink apple juice during my coaching sessions.
Water.
Good. Anyway.
But no, guys, go down there in the comment section. Let us know what boundaries have you had to put in place. Let us know if it's hard for you to put some boundaries in place. Because I know, it can be hard setting boundaries to make sure that you are at peace. And so let us know. Talk to us down there.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys and know what you're thinking about and you know what you've been through.
What you've been through.
We're here to listen. But so yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, share. And I know we keep saying this, and some of y'all still don't like, comment, and share.
Yeah,
like people I even know. I'm like, no, you're watching the show. I think you're watching the show. But if you're watching, like, comment, share.
Don't you have to have like a YouTube account to subscribe?
Share? Yeah, to subscribe. Yes, yeah. Yeah, but I think you can share it without.
You can share it without having, but
I ain't worried about it. Like it's coming. Greatness is on the way. Until then, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing and making it do what it do.
Let the people know what you got coming up, Bobby.
None. Right now, I'm just working on the life coaching business, behavioral coaching solutions. If you're interested in receiving coaching, or if you want to do a free discovery call, so like with the discovery call, we just talk about what behavioral coaching is, how we apply it to your situation. If you have like a goal or something that you're working towards, how behavioral coaching can help you reach that goal.
That sounds good.
So like the discovery call is free, and then from there we'll do like either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly sessions. I'm working on like creating like a finalized package. I'm working on doing that's what you're probably talking about, huh? So I'm working on putting together a mental health forum here in Houston, Texas, called Removing the Mask Mental Health Forum. I'm trying to find a venue, sponsors, donations to help cover the event, because I want the event to be free to the public. I already have my panel of speakers for the event, so once I finalize a location, I can do the date and all that and get the ball rolling. Like right now, I'm ready to get it going. So again, just looking for sponsors and donations. So if you're in the Houston area, have your own business, know someone with their own business that might be interested in either donating or sponsoring, hit me up. I'll put all my contact information in the what's it called?
Link. The description box.
Description section thing. So what about you? What you got going on?
No more than either in August or September. We will be doing another stage play. Well, the same stage play, but we got asked to do the play again. That just continuing to get into this creative sense of mine, because something got to hit.
Yeah.
Something has to stick, and so just being creative, just yeah, that's pretty much it right now.
Cool. So you guys can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Bobby Jarrell, on Twitter at Coach Bobby _BCS. I think I just created like a LinkedIn also. I was like try it one day.
People be always talking about LinkedIn. I don't know what it is.
Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram _living+_. You can find me on Facebook, Marthea Harris, and TikTok, Marthea Harris.
Yes. So again, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share. We love to interact with you guys. Some feedback, and like I think also like hopefully one day I would like to do a like a live version of No Filter in front of the audience.
Yes.
Putting that out in the
atmosphere. Also, we can. I was thinking about this on my way here. I was like, dang, what if like we go to like brunch or something and do a no filter at a restaurant?
Yeah.
Just different locations, just a kind of like a live.
Yeah. I would love to do that.
Cause I love to eat.
So yeah, we're putting it out in the universe, putting it out there. But yeah, until next time, I'm Bobby Jarrell.
I'm Marthea.
And we are out.
Yeah, I'm real tipsy.
All right, let's do tune in this Thursday for new episode. Text me. So this one will be it's June.
Y'all have any plans for the 4th of July?
Oh, I'm just going to my sister's house.
Oh, okay.
So just 7th. Do you want to do it or let me do it?
You can do it.
Alright, so you can start just Marthea and do mine, and I'll just go straight into this. We're the host of No Filter, and want you to tune in on. I'm gonna take this Thursday because I'll put this out the week before.
Okay.
So you start.
What's up, guys? I'm Marthea.
And I am Bobby Jarrell, and we are the hosts of No Filter. And we want you guys to tune in this Thursday, July 7th, for a brand new episode of no filter. The topic is boundaries. All about boundaries. How to set boundaries, how to keep your boundaries, when to let down your boundaries, what boundaries should look like.
When you need a boundary.
Yeah, I feel like we covered a lot in this.
We did.
We covered a lot in this episode.
We did.
So we hope you guys take something from it. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, and let us know what you think about the episode once you've watched it. So we look forward to hearing from you guys.
Bye.